Okay, before we get into the burgers, we better talk about the system. This is a little diagram that goes back to 1950, where Dr. Deming was explaining to the Japanese about the importance of building relationships with the customer and getting feedback. So basically, we have this part, and this part. Now, over here, we have target markets. Our company might not just focus on one. You might just have one target market, or you might have many. So here we have 3. A target market is a group of people who have unique needs. So a company might be serving the older folks, as I mentioned in the previous video, kids, or tweens. So these customers, if they're a different target market, they have different needs. So if we're catering to these target markets, we would need to know what their needs are. So basically, the whole group is called customers. And here is our operation. We have processes, just like making a burger. We have a process number 1, 2, 3, 4, then we have a final product that goes to this target market, or a product that goes to that target market. Now, it's important to get feedback from the customers, or else we don't know what the customers want. Now, when you look at this, it looks like we've already built it and then we're going to get feedback. And yes, that's the point, to get continuous feedback from the customer. But we have the concept called the marketing concept. And the marketing concept says, find out what the customer wants to begin with. So it'd be kind of foolish, wouldn't it? Start up a business and then nobody likes your product. No research was done. There was no interviewing or observing customers to find out what they want. Well, we just built a system based on a hunch and then we go out of business. So in order to practice the marketing concept, we need to find out what people want. What does the customer want? So the other part of the system is the suppliers. Normally we would have suppliers, our raw materials, even our labor could be included in that in a way. And these suppliers give us raw materials that go into our operation and our processes, which result in an end product that goes to the customer. Now, typically, I see this around town a lot. The company or the operation operates in a closed system. This means that there's no feedback from the customer, and no feedback goes to the suppliers. We don't even talk to the suppliers except to order stuff, and we just put stuff on the shelf. That's a closed system. A closed system that you can relate to might be the bank. Has the bank ever asked you what you want? Maybe you're tired of those lines. They don't care. They're a closed system. Their way or the highway. What about the grocery store that you go to? Does anybody ask, did you find everything you wanted? Are you satisfied with our selection? Hey, here's a little piece of paper. Write down your wish list, what you wish we carried. No, they don't do that. They blindly order stuff, stick it on the shelf. If it expires, they don't order it again. So that's really the only observation, feedback that they practice. So many of the places around town operate in a closed system. That's not the best way to go. The best way to go is to operate in an open system where we have relationships. We have relationships with the suppliers. We have relationship with the customers. We find out what they want. We get feedback. We change things in the operation to make them more suitable for the customer. And then maybe we need to give the feedback to the supplier of raw materials. Maybe for your burger place, they don't like the mayonnaise. Maybe the mustard's bitter. We need to talk to the supplier and say, hey, your mustard's bitter. So Also important here with suppliers of labor, the employees, we need to build a relationship with them so they're properly trained, they're on board, they care about the operation, and they care about the processes, they care about the customers. Now, over here, we have an extended concept called tiers. We could consider the direct supplier tier number 1, no problem with that. For you, it might be the bakery that supplies you with the buns. It might be the meat company that supplies you with the meat. So we have those people who are direct suppliers. That's the first tier. Now we also have the concept of the second tier, which are the suppliers to the suppliers. And the second tier people often would have suppliers, and so they would be the third tier. So these suppliers supply to these, to this person who supplies to our supplier who supplies to us. Hope you got that. Think about it. The cattle. You have a supplier of meat, but a lot goes into the cattle, right? The cattle they need to have food, vitamins, maybe antibiotics, rabies or whatever, shots. So the cattle people have suppliers. And all those people that supply the cattle people, they have suppliers. This makes it kind of difficult because there was a major car recall, and the major car company could not figure out the problem. They go back to the suppliers and say, what happened? The unit failed, the part of the car, it failed. Why did it fail? And they're going, well, we don't know. Well, where do you get your components from? Oh, well, let's go investigate these people and see if that's the problem. Hey, the second tier people say, it's not us, it's not us. And then it gets back to the third tier of people, suppliers. And finally, and can you imagine for a car, it's not gonna be 3 suppliers, it's gonna be hundreds, it seems. So this thing would be crazy. Now, okay, so we don't want to operate in a closed system. We want to have relationships with our customer. We want to have relationships with the supplier. And if we can do that, we're operating in an open system. We're communicating, we have relationships. Now, the problem is, will the suppliers be open to an open system and building a relationship? Will they listen to you? Will they listen to your concerns? You say, oh, the mayonnaise isn't, well, that's your problem. The mustard's not, well, that's your problem. Take it or leave it. Will they listen to you? Do they care? Are they capable of having relationships? What if it was your bakery and the buns? The buns are getting to your store stale. Will they listen to the complaint or just keep delivering stale buns? Maybe the taste of the buns could be sweeter for some reason. You say, hey, we add a little bit of this or this, maybe a little herb to the dough so the bun will have more taste. Will they listen? Will they care? Say, no, we don't do that. You have to go somewhere else. That's too difficult. We can't handle it. Will they be flexible? And when you need buns, burger buns, will they have them? Will they be dependable? That's a big problem here. That's a big problem around town. The suppliers live in their own little closed system, and they're not willing to listen, and they're not capable of having relationships with you, the operation who's trying to serve customers. Big, big problem. What if there was only 1 gallon of mayonnaise left at the warehouse? Would they call you to say, hey, we're down to 1. I care about you. Do you want it? I think you better take it because we're not having any more come in until the end of the week. Or will they just sell it to whoever comes in? So, closed system, the system, operating in a closed system, and being more productive and having a better chance of success by having an open system. So those are things to consider.